were some of the greatest cricketers the world had ever seen. Starring for the West Indies, they conquered all that was put before them, and in tremendous style.
Yes, and the cream of that crop also became heroes here in the south. For the latest in our Black History Month series, Andrew Pate looks at the lasting legacy of the Caribbean cricketers.
During the 1950s and 60s, the West Indies team first came to England and shocked the world with their brilliance. By the 70s and 80s, Gordon Greenidge was totting up over 37,000 runs for the Windies and Hampshire. He moved from Barbados to Reading when he was 14 and quickly became a star, as a certain Fred Dinage reported for ITV Sport.
Kent set Hampshire a target of 312 to win the match. The Kent calculation depended heavily on getting the wicket of Gordon Greenidge as cheaply as possible. And that's where it all went wrong. Greenidge was in irrepressible form. He equalled the fastest century of the season in a score of 120.
During the 80s and early 90s, another Hampshire legend, Malcolm Marshall, was regarded as one of the finest and fastest bowlers ever. He sadly died from cancer, aged just 41. But as a player, he forged the way, showing young black men, like future Hampshire and England bowler Norman Cowans, that cricket was the answer.
You didn't see many black faces on the TV, and the only time you did was Love Thy Neighbours or, or cricket. And so I got inspired to think, well, if they can be on TV playing cricket, maybe I've got a chance. There was a time when, at Middlesex, we were a very, very successful team, and we had 5 black players in the team, and they called us the Jackson 5 at the time. They used to say, oh, well, we're playing against the West Indies, things like that, but it just made us gel, and when we beat them, they didn't like it.
Today, the effect these players have had in breaking down barriers is being honoured in an exhibition in Southampton. As well as wowing the crowds, these players left a lasting legacy. Because in the early days, for many of these spectators, it was the first time that they'd come into contact with black people.
A kid like me from Portsmouth, growing up in the 50s, never seeing black faces, and suddenly when you see them for the first time, they're doing these wonderful things and they're engaging personalities, and you feel comfortable about them and with them. And I think, to a limited degree, I think that it certainly helps.
You've got to appreciate how good these guys really were, because they faced a great deal of racism and discrimination. Nonetheless, we see these people coming through and not only being great cricketers, but also being really excellent role models.
This decade, Michael Carberry has come to the fore as Hampshire's opening batsman. He was inspired by those great Windies players and hopes to have the same effect on the next generation.
I hope that I inspire kids from all kind of backgrounds. I still think amongst the West Indian community there's still a big interest in cricket. So it'll be nice as a current player to see more kids back in the game. Yeah.
Role models, sportsmen and pioneers. Andrew Pate for Meridian Tonight.
Oh, lovely memories.
And you did speak frightfully properly.
I spoke incredibly well in those days. I don't know
what happened.
I'm not sure. I became common. And I don't know where or how, but what lovely memories.
Fantastic. Right, now it's time to meet the second in our group of 4 who are the finalists for Meridian's Feel Good Factor Award.